Welcome everybody to the fourth episode of 144 and 360. Today we're going to be looking at two charts. One is Bitcoin on the daily and then on the 10-minute chart. Doesn't matter what you trade, the rules and the guidelines are exactly the same. So it's worth watching this video just to see what you should be looking for. Everybody knows that lower highs and lower lows is a downtrend, and but what do you look for to sell? Where do you look for if it is a downtrend? This is where the Fibonacci retracements become so important. We're going to start here just looking at what was the all-time high up around 69,000. And you can just see where we are today, where it's got very close to 17,000. But when the trend changes, you start to see the market that can only get up to certain retracements. In this case, the first one was 23%, meaning very weak market. And, you know, you look for new lows. That's what happened here. Again, rally was only 23%, very negative market. Again, making lower lows, lower highs, but these areas are exact points to look for. So they'd make this low in the beginning of the year and then trade sideways for a while and then come up to 38.2%. Now we know that should send us to new lows. That indeed did, and now the thing got so weak that it could only go 23% of this move. Obviously, we would have been watching it all the way back to the all-time high, but you have to see which levels are working and which ones aren't, and what could happen when it holds and when it fails to hold. So the real point of this video is this day here, just the weekend trade. All of this whole move down into this one day. We're going to take you now into the 10-minute chart, and looks exactly the same in just the whole down move. Now we're going to take this from, like we said, this was on the 9th, and what it did was it came back to 78.6%. Now this is two things happen from 78.6. When you fail to make that new high, that it either just goes 78.6 the other way, which it just did here, and or it can be the end of the whole bull move, regardless of how small. Now we're just dealing with a 10-minute chart here. So you see that this rally from the 78 couldn't even get to 61.8, and then you start to see rallies that can't even get to 23%, much like on the daily chart that just did, only this is a 10-minute chart here. And new lows, then they sit here, 23%. We'll just put it here so you can see exactly what we're talking about. 23%. This whole thing, 23%. Then they go down here and make this new low and can only get to 23%. Now, one of the rules whenever you hit a retracement and you fail to make that new low, it's a sign that we should be going to the next one up above. And in this case, it failed to make the new low. Once again, it's 78.6%, went 78.6 and more, and then just got stopped right on the dime with 38.2. Again, new lows followed all of this. Again, 10-minute chart. Now the market got so weak that we have to take this down to even here to get to a retracement, and you can see 23%, 23% again, and then we get that classic, what you just saw right here, where it hit a retracement, went 78.6% back, which it did right here to this, and then hit 38%. Just the exact same thing that just happened right in here is happening again. And you should just keep looking for these things all the time. As you can see here, 23 to the whole thing was still up here, and you would have watched this area. But as you can see, all it could do was go 38% onto new lows. These things it's just so important that you know what's above you and what's below, who's in control. What you can just see here, yes, were there levels below here that gave us pops up to these levels? Yes, but the point is, what's in control? Are we staying under 23.6%, 38%, knowing that the trend, that's the golden rule, is 38.2%. Any market that's going to continue its direction should not go beyond 38.2% and should go for new lows. We have all these guidelines and rules for our members. We hopefully, if you trade the grains, you'll come subscribe and become a member in the grain weekly outlook that we have. We have these charts here on the grains, each of the grains, and we also do Gann squares where we have the Bitcoin, just so you can take a look at it, posted, and Ethereum on our website, where you can get a good look at just to see how well the Gann squares work and why we use those two things as the key components to our grain analysis also. But again, all of this works in every market and the exact same way. Here you just went from a daily chart all the way down to a 10-minute chart. Exactly the same things happening in the big scale and the minute scale. So give us a look on the grains. Thank you for watching. We'd appreciate it if you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hopefully to our Grain Weekly. Until the next video, good trading.